Roza Lallemand. Who was she? She was the only known North Korean chess player in history. When she was 5, her family emigrated from North Korea to the USSR, right? From worse to bad. But her mom had to emigrate to South Korea, so she lost contact with her for much of her life. She had 5 siblings. They all went to the USSR. They found out she was gifted at chess, and then she got sent to this private chess school when she was 11, and she rarely saw her family. And I mean, just researching this woman's life, it just makes you recognize how most of your problems are really first world problems. It's really just crazy to put things into perspective. Um, she died when she was in her 40s from a heart attack, but in 2001, she was the European chess champion. She was the second ever French woman international master, so that's very good. She achieved a rating over 2,300 FIDE. And we're going to be looking at a nice game I saw where she played at 96% accuracy. And what stemmed my interest for this video was yesterday I was playing on chess.com. My opponent had a North Korean flag up. Well, I was going to say obviously, maybe not obviously, because I'm ignorant to what life is like over there, but I don't think they play on chess.com. And then I don't know if they know chess, so I started researching it, and this is the only thing I found. Like, do you think they play chess there, or do you think they play a different type of chess, or they just don't play chess because they got to do not first world things? I don't know. But we're going to look at a game. E4, she starts with, and we get E6. Okay, so it looks like the French, but now it is the Owens. I made a video on this. Love the Owens. That's beside the point. We get knight to F3, bishop to B7, and bishop to D3. So she's smart because when you play the Owens, you really hope your opponent plays knight C3. If they play, let me show you guys the main line. So if they go like knight C3, the move order is going to be slightly different. But you get stuff like this, then queen e2. It all revolves around guarding this pawn on e4. Now on d5, there's a cool trick here. If white takes, they are losing, because after takes, where does this knight go? Well, wherever it does go, you take this pawn, and white's position easily just collapses. So not putting the knight on c3 is a smart thing to do when your opponent plays the Owens, because I promise you they are hoping that you do that. So we kind of get the same main line, just without the knight on c3. All good. e5, knight e4, see the resemblance. Knight d2, that's where the knight belongs, because now if the bishop ever comes to b4, the pawn can go to c3. There is no pin, there is no scary pin. We get a trade-off that helps white develop. Do not get your light squared bishop trapped here. Sometimes in bullet, people forget about it. For some people, they forget about it in rapid. Horrible. We got this 4-pawn chain. You see the resemblance of the French, and that's what the Owens is. It's basically the French with a fianchettoed bishop. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I don't know. That's for you to decide. Okay, so c3. Now c4 would not be a good move, right? This is an overextension, because if you don't trap the bishop, then it's an overextension. This light squared bishop is garbage. You're going to attack this c4 pawn with the b pawn, and then you're going to get open files and activity. That's how you punish this c4 move if your opponent ever does that. In a similar structure, right? It's a structural thing. It happens in many different openings. Okay, we got bishop e7 castles, knight c6, all normal stuff, and a3. It's so similar to the French. It's crazy. Queen c8. I don't love this move. It does not help the cause of connecting the rooks later on. It does set up a battery. Maybe she wanted to play a6, b5. Her opponent was 2,000 some. Maybe a6, b5. We get rook e1, knight a5, trying to jump into the holes. I won't say it resembles the French anymore because I've said that 1,000 times. Knight b3, that is a one-move threat, attacking the rook, and the rook just improves itself. If we blast open the center, these rooks are going to be beasts. Are these rooks going to be beasts? No, because they are still on the flank. h6, we get an exchange, and bishop to c2, aiming at the knight. Okay, we get a switch, bishop to a6. Point is, it attacks the queen, so we cannot take the knight, so she moves the queen to safety. Pawn takes, another switch, knight takes, and black gets the trade. But I really like the decision to take with the rook. Rooks on open ranks like this can be filthy, and people do not expect them. They happen very fast. It's very sudden. So granted, she lost the D pawn, so this E pawn is semi-weak, right? When you get rid of the D pawn, you're pretty happy. But there's no knights to build up on this. There's not even a dark squared bishop. So this pawn is not a weakness. Don't really need the D pawn. This rook is a beast. You don't want a queen trade when you're the aggressor. She gets out of the discovery. She would like to move her rook, and she does so with a tempo. Black guards the pawn passively, and look at this. One rook leaves the queen side, white's rook enters the queen side and already creates threats. If the bishop moves, you lose a very important pawn, and look at this pawn. I mean, you can already see mating boxes. So queen to c8, if your queen lands on c8 twice, it's probably not going too hot. Bishop to d3, this is a beautiful move, right? Because if bishop takes, we get take, and we will pick the bishop back up, and then probably back rank them, or at least win a queen, something of the sort. At least win a queen. b5, and queen check, right? A lot of switches in this game. But then we get rook a5, and it's fascinating, because this rook is trapped. It looks like it's trapped because it is trapped. But again, nothing to pressure the dark squares, not even a knight. So we are aiming in at this pawn. Well, she is aiming in at this pawn, and she plans to win it. So queen c6, okay, freeing up the rooks to go to the queen side. A little too late, but we get pawn to a4, cannot take because you are now pinned on this diagonal. So it's all about adding pressure to this pawn. Rook to b8, defending the pawn. We get pawn takes, bishop has to take, and then rook finally takes check. The rook blocks, and here she plays a brilliant move. Pause the video, try to find it. Queen to b4. Point of this move, if rook takes, we get bishop takes, and you do not get pinned because this comes with check. Was there a mate? Is this a mate? Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, look at that. So after we get bishop to a6, bishop takes. Again, rook cannot take because of the pin. This position is free flowing at this point, and because of that, black did resign. So this was a great game. Honestly, kind of demonstrated the Russian school of chess. She did go to school for chess there, and you guys know how good that used to be. So yeah, history is crazy. Just researching these people's lives, first world problems versus third world problems, crazy. But do you guys think they play tournaments in North Korea? I wonder. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and have a great day. Boom.